Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gamecock Central Radio here. I am Collyn Taylor, joined by Will Helms. We are both writers for GamecockCentral.com. Baseball today, we are going to break down for you a couple things, kind of our initial reactions from the game today, and then, of course, over the course of the weekend, and then break down some of the individual performances you saw on the diamond over the course of the past three games. So, Will, just what are your first initial reactions after Sunday's game?
Well, I think it's kind of hard to start anywhere other than John Jones and his historic weekend. 8 for 8 with 6 walks, 10 RBIs. As far as we know, that has not been done since at least 1997, probably longer. Just pretty incredible that Holbrook was able to find not only him but a couple of these other guys just at JUCO ranks the past couple of years. He's really had success recruiting guys from there.
Yeah, and when you look at some of those JUCO guys that have played today, Dom Thompson-Williams went 1 for 4, and just a lot of other guys that have been playing really solid over the course of the start of the season and into this weekend. The thing that really impressed me the most was the bullpen today. They came out and pitched almost a perfect 4 innings, 4 1/3, aside from one single given up by Josh Reagan. So they were really, really impressive today as well. I don't think they've given up more than 1 or 2 runs. They haven't given up a run on the weekend all season. They've given up a couple in the midweek. So they've been really, really solid through the first 8 games and, of course, against Penn State this weekend. What else did you see out there?
Well, again with the bullpen, Reed Scott and Josh Reagan both had worse games today than they did last week. And that's saying something because they both, 4 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk. They're just mowing guys down out there. So Holbrook's got to feel happy about having those guys in the bullpen. But I'm also looking at some of these newcomers, newer guys. You got Dom Thompson-Williams hitting first, Jonah Bride hitting second, John Jones, sophomore, Alex Destino. Then you got Tolbert, Collyn, TJ Hopkins also in the lineup today. Just a lot of new guys really contributing immediately, which is always good to see.
Right, and you wouldn't expect that. You thought that they would come in and play some this season, but you figured that Gene Cohn and Clark Scalamaro would be out there in the outfield. But you've seen a lot of TJ Hopkins. You've seen a lot of Dom Thompson-Williams. There really hasn't been that set lineup of guys that are coming in. And you've seen a lot of that TJ Hopkins, who he didn't have a solid game today. I think he struck out 3 times, but he's had he tracked down that ball in the outfield today. That was really, really difficult, and then he's hit a home run. He's been really, really solid, I think, this season. So he's one of those guys that's really stood out for me that I didn't think would come to fruition so far this season.
Yeah, he had that one really good catch in the outfield, but he also had a couple other ones that really took some speed to track down. And then in the first inning, and I think it was the 4th inning, they were having a little bit of trouble. His arm actually, it looked like to me, held the guy at second when he really could have gone to third, just because of that arm strength in the outfield, which is always good to have out there. Another guy I'm looking at is Jonah Bride, who's just been solid all year. It seems to me that he just does everything well, whether it's advancing a base on a bad throw or just getting the timely hit when you need it. He just seems always to be in the right place at the right time.
Right, I think Holbrook mentioned that in one of his practices. I asked him, I said, what stands out about him? He goes, nothing really stands out, but you'll look down and he'll go, 1 for 3 with a walk or something like that. And when you look at the stats today, he was 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored and 2 putouts. So, he's been one of those guys that you don't necessarily think of during the course of the game, but then you look back and realize how solid he is, not only fielding but at the plate as well. So moving on from our initial reactions, we'll have more, of course, on Twitter at GamecockCentral.com or at Gamecock Central, and then a few other things online and on personal Twitters as well. But I want to get to who you thought really stood out this weekend as the MVP, not named John Jones, of course, who went 8 for 8 with 6 walks. I think he's reached on 16 straight plate appearances. So who did you see that stood out really today or this weekend?
Well, again, I think I got to go back to Jonah Bride. I think every day I read today that he's reached base in every single game so far. Has just really put up some solid numbers offensively, played really well on defense. Just kind of all-around good player.
Mm-hmm. I got to go probably DC Arendis. He didn't have that hot of a start to the season. He started 0 for 8, but then he went 2 for 2 today with a walk, and then I think he had 2 hits Saturday. So he's been a guy that if his bat can get going, this team's dangerous because there's really not a hole on this lineup that you can look at and say, wow, if this guy's an automatic out. So if DC can get his bat swinging like it was this weekend, I think that it's dangerous going forward.
You got to credit Holbrook for having DC in there, despite going, I think it was 0 for 11 to start the season. So you just got to credit Holbrook for keeping him in there and sticking with a veteran. because on a young team, it's really good to have that one or two guys that are those seniors that can really step up for the team.
Right, it's like he wants to keep playing Arendis, but you have LT Tolbert, who's another one of those young guys that came in and has been playing pretty well at second base and some at DH, but I think John Jones kind of solidified that DH position this weekend. But, I think he wants to keep Arendis playing, but with Mooney out with a hamstring issue that's really not an issue right now, it gave Tolbert a chance to go to shortstop and then Arendis back home at second base. So I thought he played really, really well out there today.
Yeah, Tolbert played all 4 infield positions this weekend at one point or another, which is just pretty incredible that you can have freshmen come in here and do that and be that versatile. Also, I'm looking at Chris Collyn. He threw 2 guys out today, just a really solid defensive catcher. So I think Holbrook's really going to get John Jones in that designated hitter spot and keep Collyn at the catcher position. So starting to see those lineups kind of get a little bit tighter. Get solidified.
Well, that will do it for us at Gamecock Central Radio. For the last time, I am Collyn Taylor, and Will Helms has joined me on this one today. Make sure to follow Gamecock Central at Gamecock Central on Twitter, and follow me at Collyn P. Taylor, or Collyn P. Taylor, Taylor. And Will, you want to tell me your Twitter real quick?
Yeah, you can follow me at WHelms21 on Twitter.
All right, perfect. And we will see you guys on the next episode of this podcast. Thanks for listening.